Need to get my nose. Old school to new school, you need to learn though. There's only one school and we all gotta go. Old school to new school. Old school to new school. You're not supposed to be eating sugar. Eating sugar. You're not supposed to be eating sugar. See for day one. Eating sugar over your mouth. Telling lies. Telling lies. Hooker, hooker. Get on out. Telling lies. What up? I thought about some good content because I only got like 40 viewers, and y'all my go-to. Y'all ready? All right. Old school to new school, you need to learn though. There's only one school and we all supposed to go and we all gotta go. Talk about influencers. Everything that influences you in life. You know, people on the internet might influence you, but this is just my humble opinion. This is my humble opinion. If your parents aren't your number one influencers, you got it bad. You know what I mean? You coming up hard. You know what I mean? I come up hard. I come up hard. If you can't look at your mom and your father as your influencers, because those should be your top influencers, your mom and dad. Anytime you be like, man, I'll be looking at influencers on TV, and your parents aren't the influencer, it's because you know most parents are supposed to lead by example, and when your parents don't lead by example, they're not going to be your influencers. So, little man, it ain't your fault. Little sister, that ain't your fault. But to me, before you go looking at any other nigga in society or any other person out in the world, you're supposed to look at your examples right in front of you. Now, bad parents are just as good examples as good parents. You know, like when your parents are smoking, like smoking meth, crack, heroin. I don't want to do none of this shit that these motherfuckers do. Excuse my language. I'm not monetized. You know what I mean? The minute I don't cuss anymore, you gotta pay attention. Listen to me carefully. When I stop cursing, that's when I'm eligible for monetization. Now, do I have a vocabulary? It depends. Some people vocabulary is vast. You know what I mean? Some people will have a minute vocabulary. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I had some of the best examples. When it came to gangbanging, I had the best examples. I had a cousin. Because a lot of my cousins are young G's. When I say young G's, one of my cousins told me one time when I was a youngster, he said, go to my hood and say my name. Because he was in the county fighting the case. Y'all want to hear about the case first, then tell you about him? Well, he was in the county fighting multiple murders. He was accused of multiple murders. But it was weird because he had got shot with an AK. Him and his friend was in the car. And this isn't speculation, hearsay. A rival gang came through. Because my cousin's from Broadway. My cousin from Fadu's Broadway. But he always be like in the 11 deuces in the 60s. This is like, you know what I'm saying? He's big S-bone. But, you know, when you big and you young, you got a whole bunch of little lokes that says something about you. You know what I mean? You got little homies that ain't too far in age from you. Like, your little homie is only like 2-3 years younger than you. Or 2 years younger than you. You know what I mean? You doing a little bit. So anyway, him and his friend had got shot with an AK. They pulled up on the side of him and shot him up with an AK. Killed his friend instantly. That chopper don't play. A chopper is a go-to weapon if you want to really shut some shit down. You know what I mean? A chopper is it. A chopper is you know what I mean, better known as the AK-47. So his own boy's head get knocked off. He gets shot really badly. Boom, 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 boom. That chopper tore him up. It left him to where he had a permanent limp and kind of like a drag. A limp and a drag. You know what I'm saying? He don't move around too good. But he's barely, I want to say like anywhere from 18 to 20. Anywhere from 18 to 20 at this time. And that ain't the only time he got shot. One time, he had 357 in his back pocket. It fell right there on the porch. It fell and shot him in the heel of the foot. 357, like, bow! And shot him right in the heel of the foot. But he had these Alpine boots. Back in a certain time, they would wear these mountain boots. They would either be blue or they would be black. And they would put fat laces in them. If you had the blue ones, you put the black fat laces in them. If they were blue, you put the black fat laces in them. If they were black, you put the blue fat laces in them. Those boots saved his foot. Okay, so a lot of stuff went on. He ended up getting like 56 years to life with no eligibility to parole at the age of like 20. At the age of 20. But all while he was fighting the case, he used to call, like, because my mom is like all the boy cousins' favorite auntie. Some of the girls, like the rebellious girls, liked her, like all the rebellious girls in her family, but all the boys liked my mom, because she accepted all the collect calls and put money on their books. Because my mom was the type of mom, like, she been there, she understands. And if you ever need to go on a run, you can stay at our house. My mom was just like that. You know what I mean? If you wanted to come get your life together, come stay at our house. You know what I'm saying? So, cousin would call and be like, "What's happening, cuz? What's up, cuz?" And he would always have me call like 5 to 6 phone numbers for him on collect. Three-way this call, cuz. Call this number, cuz. You straight, cuz? You need anything? And he was always up in spirits about fighting all them cases all the time. And I used to be like, you got to be, hell no. But the crazy thing about it, he was a spoiled brat. Like, he used to have cars on Dayton's, whole bunch of cars parked in the driveway on Dayton's. He was very carefree when it came to certain stuff, like with money. You know what I mean? He had a big old chain, always had fresh clothes. You know what I mean? That was him. You know what I mean? But he was like a real spoiled brat. I used to get his hand-me-downs, but they were so big, and I wore them anyway. You know what I mean? Like, this nigga foot this big. But I think I outgrew him though. I outgrew him. Excuse me. I don't mean it's just chewing, y'all. I can't help it. Like, today's my cheat day and I don't eat sugar. I stopped eating sugar, kind of. Like, I let sugar go. And my body, my brain is saying no, but my body is like, yes, 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 yes. I think I might have like something in my intestinal tract. I gotta flush him out or kill it, get rid of it somehow. But anyway, We on the phone one day. He like, what up? He said, you all right? I'm like, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Because they be worried about me. They don't want nobody fucking with me because I don't, you know what I mean? I really don't be bothering people too much. People take that as a sign of weakness. When you quiet, you know what I mean? Are you off? You know what I mean? People tend to try you. You trying the wrong nigga. You know, people will try you, and then when you give them everything that they want to taste, they play victim, and then you the bad guy. You fucking Charles Manson and the Night Stalker all wrapped in one. You know what I'm saying? Jack the Ripper. You know what I mean? And I don't like that shit. I don't fuck you niggas. You niggas some weird niggas. You know what I mean? I'm letting you know right now, your mama didn't raise you right. She ain't shit neither. You know what I mean? Any nigga that, you know, you like to start shit and get what you deserve, and then you turn around and paint somebody else to be Jason and Freddy Krueger all mixed together, you're a real punk motherfucker, man, and that's no doubt. You know? Weird ass gang members and shit, non-affiliates that want to hang with gang members. That's a lesson in itself. You don't bang because you think you smarter than they are, but you want to hang around them and have the same type of notoriety. Like, I don't bang, but I'm still tough too, because women like that weird shit. Yeah, you cool until somebody come through there and hit your ass a few times with themselves. That's why I said it ain't never been cool. Yeah, I know some gang members, but it ain't cool to be with them, because as soon as somebody come through there and you get hit and they don't, then you're going to know how intelligent your stupid ass really is. You know what I mean? You ain't even from over there. Why you be over there so much? Yeah, well, they already talked about shooting you before they shot over there. Because usually, when it was a nigga that wasn't from over there that was over there, they'd be like, nigga, we had them niggas. We just had them niggas, but since you was over there, we couldn't do nothing to them niggas. Man, you got to stop being with them niggas. They already warned you once. That's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that another time, because I got a story about that. My cousin called me. I accept the collect call. My uncle in there too. My Uncle Popsy in there, which is my mama's uncle. My grandmother's brother. He in there for manslaughter. They accused him of manslaughter. He beat his lover and the cheater to death. He was in LA County. He beat his lover and the cheater to death. He beat their ass to death. Uncle Popsicle from Watts, that's his name. Uncle Popsicle. Jimmy Popsicle, you know what I mean? And Lil Popsicle was his brother. Lil Jimmy, you know what I'm saying? Jimmy Popsicle. Watts. He did manslaughter twice. Most of our family was scared of him. Like the women, he had cut Lil Stiller's mama's throat. Little, not Uncle Popsy, Uncle Jim. Lil Popsicle cut Auntie Poochie's throat. I don't know what that was about, but she got the worst scars on her neck because it keloided. And I always used to be like, damn, what happened to Auntie's neck? They wouldn't tell me all the way up until I turned like damn near 16 years old. Like, I used to be at their house all the time in my teens. When they were younger, something had happened, and Uncle Jim cut her throat. But not Uncle Popsy. Uncle Popsy's different, built different. Totally different. But they in the county jail. S-Bone in there. S-Bone don't want, you know what I'm saying? So, S-Bone called, he like, hey, cuz. He said, you don't believe I'm a young G, huh? I said, nah, I believe you. I really ain't into all of that. Like, I ain't tripping. He like, you don't need nothing, cuz? You all right? He said, cuz I don't want nobody, you know what I mean? He didn't want me to bang from nowhere. He was like, don't ever bang from nothing, cuz. Don't bang. But if you gotta bang, cuz, you know what I mean? Cuz Kiki told me, you know what I mean? Kiki is Lil Stiller, which is our other cousin. He said, go to my hood and say my name. So one day I decided to go over there. I leave South Park and I walk over there. A brother by the name of Caesar Mike and Caesar Mike and another dude, like Caesar Mike and somebody else. It was three of them, but it was Caesar Mike and another light skinned dude. I just have walked around, I leave South Park, I take San Pedro going south. So I take San Pedro going south and I turn. And then I get like, I don't even remember how to, how I got there because I was like, Broadway over here. So I tell him, say, hey, I'm S-Bone cousin. Like, S-Bone cousin? He's like, hold on. Because they got on me at first. And then when I told them where I was from, which is, right across the street, they're like, hold on. Like, we don't know you like that. Like, you sure you from over there? Like, so the homies, like, start pulling up, like, no good in them, like, you know what I'm saying? What's up, cuz, you good? Like, yeah, I got to holler at the Broadways real quick, you know what I'm saying? Because it was me, G-Ed, and some more people. It was G-Ed, no good, me, you know what I'm saying? So, boom. I said, S-Bone told me to come over here and say his name. Like, he told me, like, what's up? Oh, cuz, come on. So I go inside of the house with him. We go through the garage, this little spot. You know what I'm saying? They got his picture right up there. Like, as soon as you come in there, he got, like, a couple of pictures, a whole bunch of flicks. So I was like, okay, cool. They was like, you need anything? What you into? Like what you do, like what you into, we got you. You know what I'm saying? This and this and this and that. I was like, no, we cool. You know what I'm saying? I just was, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Like, nah, we cool. It's cool. You know what I mean? Like, well, let us know. Come to us. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, man, I just talked to him the other day. I was like, okay, cool, man. I came over here because he told me to come over here one day, and I decided to come over here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my cousin got a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? And highly favored, respected and highly favored. But getting 50-odd some years to life with no eligibility of parole at the age of like 19, 20, do you know what that is? Like, no eligibility of parole with 50-some odd years at the age of 19, 20 in LA County Jail, right? I don't need too many examples. My own flesh and blood are my best examples. So people be like, oh, you not no influencer. You don't got no money. If your own family don't influence you in any kind of way, like, I know not to take this road. I know it's down there. I don't want to smoke nothing because my dad, he smoked shit and he ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a smoker and she didn't turn her life into shit. Like, I listened to my mom because I seen my mama like bust on some people like with a 38. I take it back. I seen her draw down a couple of times, and I seen my mom where it was a shootout a couple of times, and my mama wasn't on no punk shit. You know what I'm saying? It was some times where my mama had an argument because my uncle had a shootout and I was with him. He had a shootout at Gregory House. It was a dice game going bad, and then it was about some money. That's all I remember. And my uncle was like, nigga, you gonna pull a gun on me while I got my nephew? My uncle told me, hold on to my leg. So I wrapped my whole body around one of his legs. And he had a 38. He's like, so you gonna pull a gun on me while I got my nephew? So my uncle walked around a car on the other side of a car. He leaned over the car. He like, so they both got pointing guns at each other. Gregory in the doorway like, what the hell wrong with y'all? I'm gonna tell Laney, because my mama's nickname was Laney. For Elena, L-A-N-A, Elena, Teresa. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell Laney, and then what you out there? So, oh boy, like bust. My uncle get on him, boom, 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 like on some gangster shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I had to turn my head. I wasn't supposed to look. You know what I mean? But boy, was Gregory was hot. So Gregory get on this nigga. Gregory like come out with a bigger gun, and my uncle get on. So my uncle picked me up, he jog off. My uncle take me to the house and go back around the corner. literally go right back around the corner like, nigga, Mark had my nephew, nigga. You know what I mean? He had the hair, he had the golf hat, he had the golf hat with the hairnet. You know what I mean? I got my nephew with me, nigga. They go right back around there. Right back around there. Gregory come after all this said, Doug, Gregory come over to my mama's house like, yeah, man, he shot at my brother with my son. This next, like, yeah, they shooting it out on the porch, man. So I come out with the gauge. I get on, I tow the car up, you know what I'm saying? And he like, cause they run off the porch. You get to giving it to him, like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all tripping. Somebody did get hit. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But those are my examples. So far as being an influencer, I don't know how much I can influence you. But if your family situation is that fucked up where you turn to the internet to you know, your parents is right here and you don't even go to them. You can just cut on the internet and find one of your favorite influencers. You know, I mean, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? The Lord above. Like, this is what this life is about. AI and influencers and your own family don't influence you to say, hey man, you can't pay me to do meth. I watched this person go from pretty to ugly. Drugs don't do nothing but make you ugly, especially when you poor and don't have, when you broke and use drugs, you got to have money for whatever you're trying to do, whether it be positive or whether it be negative. If you have a dream, you need money to fuel that dream. So you have to get a job or something. You got to do something to fuel that dream that you got. Because if all dreams come with a price. You're going to have to sacrifice and fuel your dreams. You're going to have to get a job so you can pay for the knowledge you need to get to where you got to get to. If you want to be on the negative side of things, you're going to need money to maintain an image and a certain type of status. You're going to have money to do so. So if you snort cocaine, you're going to need some money to take care of yourself while you snort cocaine. You know what I mean? That way you can keep your appearance up. A lot of people, drug users don't have the money to fuel their habit and maintain a decent lifestyle. So they become ugly, they become hideous, they start losing a lot of weight, and then they think, but in their mind, they think they still attractive. In their mind, they don't, and it's a really scary situation because in their mind, they think they still that pretty person that they was. That's why crack, meth, and heroin affect women totally different. A man can smoke crack and he'd be an athlete or whatever. And once all the money runs out, and then they start looking like that and shit. Excuse me? You hear me? Start looking like that, like shifty, you know what I mean? Or grinding their teeth, you know. The fuck is wrong with your ass? Like, oh man, you was the hero, now you the zero. You know what I mean? If that don't influence you to say, hey man, you can't pay me to smoke none of this shit. I never did. I've hit a joint. I've hit a blunt. But you can't pay me to hit nothing that a scientist made. You can't pay me to hit nothing that a fucking chemist has to put together. You can't pay me to do that. I've never took shrooms before. I've never popped peyote buttons. I've never done LSD. You want to know why? Where I be at be so crazy, why would I want to take any of that shit? The nigga next to you will kill you. The nigga next to you sleeping with your wife. The nigga next to you trying to be with your baby mama, and then you gonna pop acid and be with these people? No, you the homie, but I don't trust you niggas like that. I don't mess with them like that. I tell my homie something, nigga, I don't mess with y'all like that. You know it. I don't mess with your, but you the homie. I'm your homie, nigga, but I don't mess with y'all like that. I don't put nothing past nobody. Women always, oh, you got trust issues. I met you, you a stranger that I met. We don't owe each other nothing. My mama didn't introduce me to you. You know, our families didn't know each other. We didn't grow up together. You know what I mean? A lot of you women meet somebody in the club and think you got to know that person and don't be knowing them. That's why y'all be having baby daddies that don't take care of y'all kids. Y'all got kids with a nigga that don't. If you gotta ask your baby daddy for money for his kids and he just don't give you money every week for him, You didn't know this nigga. You couldn't have known him. You moved a whole stranger in and it took a lot of women roll the dice with niggas. They take a chance with niggas. Well, let this be your influence. That's some stupid shit to be doing. Bringing kids into this world with a nigga, you just took a chance and now you got kids and the dad didn't really take care of them and shit. No. These are your influencers right in front of you. You don't need to turn to the internet to get an influencer. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an influencer. Influencer, your parents don't influence you. Do they whoop you? I'm going to be honest. A lot of y'all don't get whooped. You need your ass whooped. I'm just going to be honest because I'm going to tell you some real powerful shit. When I got my report card and it was really, really messed up, I got my ass whooped. And I'm talking about it was the longest walk home. Because you know you're getting your ass whooped when you get home. So I would take about 2 hours to walk home. My mama would meet me halfway. Like, come on. You sitting there dragging your damn feet? Come on. I talked to your teacher today too. And I'm going to whoop your ass. And that shit feels like slavery. You ever seen slaves get whooped? Till they backs open up and they flesh tear. That shit don't feel no different, man. A real ass whooping hurt. A real ass whooping feels like you'll start crying at the instant. You want your ass whooped? No. I was that kid. Because man, I got my ass whooped. You want an ass whooping? No. Oh, you know what I mean? Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm not exaggerating or putting a 10 on 100. I'm not doing that. But I tell you what, when I got bad grades, which is every now and then, I ass whooping followed. So what should I do? At least get C's. At least get C's. At least if you can't get A's and B's, at least keep C's. No D's, hardly no F's. Because you're going to get an ass whooping, man. You're going to get a good ass whooping. You know what I mean? And then you didn't want your teacher calling too much. You know what I'm saying? Because every time that her ass called, I'm getting an ass whooping. So I told my teacher. I showed my teacher the whelps. Look what you did. You told him this. Look at me. The kid's like, oh, that's sad. Oh. My teacher said, I didn't do nothing. I said, you called her and told her I need to improve on this and this and that, and I'm disruptive. But then when I ask you, is everything all right? You say, yeah, I'm okay, I'm doing good. But you call and say something else. You can't be trusted. So I sit at my desk. I want to talk to you in the hallway, and we're going to the office. Now you're going to get me in more trouble. You know what I'm saying? The whole class is on my side. Because one of the students backed me up. He said, yeah, you did the same thing to me. One of the students said the same thing. Yeah, you did the same thing to me. You said I was doing good and you called my parents. But I didn't get beat though. But like, yeah, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I let her ass know. So I moved to the front of the class where I'm sitting right in front of this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, disrupt him, I'm like 2 feet from your desk, so who the hell am I disrupting? I made sure that I sat right in front of you, two-faced, you know what I mean? And that was school for us. If you can relate, then, drop it in the comments. But, people like, are you trying to be an influencer, huh? Hey, if you can relate, then you can relate. If you want to chop it up, let's chop it up. It's not, I don't have all the answers. Let's say I invite you, if I can go live, and you come on here, I will become a student at any time. I'm not finna sit here and be all extra, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm running this, you don't know every damn thing. Be an empty cup sometime. Be an empty cup. You know what I mean? You ever tried to learn martial arts? You can't you can't pour water into a full cup. You can't pour water into a full cup. A lot of people show up like, you know what I mean? I have a skill. You know what I mean? I show up and I have no skill whatsoever. That's what I'm gonna say. Hey, Ed, did you ever take boxing? I know the basics. How to throw a jab, how to throw a hook. I really don't know what I need to know. That's why I'm here. I would like to learn what you know, if you'll teach me. And I become a student. And then once I become a student, I no longer have to pay at a lot of places. Hey, I don't have it right now. Don't worry about it. Just why are you talking about that right now? Just go get your shit, get the equipment. Hurry up. Hey, and tape that up for me. Yeah, let's go. Come on. That's because I show up as an empty cup. So if you get on here and you take over the live, or you know what I mean, why listen to me? I'm a student. Why would you treat a student that way? You know what I mean? What's the problem? You know, trolls, you can troll me. You can troll me. You can troll me. Trolls are good. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not monetized because I curse. You know what I mean? Since when you curse, you don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? Then they're gonna your videos stay in the yellow. You know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? What I'm saying? If I stop cursing, then maybe. But back to influencers, like one of my uncles was such a womanizer. Uncle Mark. He was a ladies' man. He was a ladies' man. But it worked. It worked. Like he was a real player. A real, you know what I'm saying? A real player. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was really real. And he, you know, he used to be off of Fig all the time, cause down off in the hundreds all the time. He ended up marrying, and I kid you not, when he was in Corcoran, he married the sergeant. For the life of me, man, it blew my mind, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't in the prison and all of that at this time. You know what I mean? But he actually did that. Like, he married the sergeant from Corcoran. Like, he married her. Like, they were together. And he had a Jaguar and some more stuff. My grandmother liked that woman. The woman, like, my grandmother actually liked that woman. She liked the Shirley, which is Candace. I got a cousin named Candace in Vegas. She liked Shirley, because I liked Shirley. Shirley is a twin. Shirley is a twin. She had twin Shirley and her sister. They were twins. And I got my first chicken tacos from Shirley. Very first chicken tacos. Her chicken tacos were so good, people would pay her money. Those are the first chicken tacos I ever ate in my life. She taught my mama that recipe. You know what I mean? Auntie Shirley. Anyway, boom, right? One of my uncles got hooked on cocaine, on crack. He went from athletic to real skinny. And then he went from, you know what I mean, felonious capers, you know what I mean? Like, shifty, and you know what I mean? And that was an example to me, like, you know what I mean? I watched him disintegrate. So I like, you can't never pay me to do no drugs. I know what it do to people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all be like, oh man, I turn to an influencer, and you know what I mean? You got your parent, if you have both your parents in the house and they not your influencers, your parents really ain't shit, bro. I'm just keeping it a band with you. Now, your parents can't, your dad can't compete with Michael Jordan. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, if your dad wasn't athletic and your idol is Michael Jordan, don't run your dad up against Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like me, a lot of people be like, why you like the Raiders so much? Y'all think it's because it's gang shit. But I'll let y'all think what y'all want to think a lot of times. You know why? It gives me the advantage to just be in the shadows and let y'all just tear the world up. You know what I mean? Set the world on fire. Fuck it up. Do whatever y'all gonna do, and I'll just wait till y'all done, and there's just, once it's quiet, then I'll come out. You know what I mean? I always liked the Raiders because of who they had on their team. Brian Bosworth and Bo Jackson. Them was some of the best players that was in the whole world. Brian Bosworth and Bo Jackson. When Bo Jackson played for the Raiders, I became a Raider fan. a Raider fan. You had Lau Alzado, because they used to be on the back of the milk cartons at school, so we knew all the Raiders. But once you had, you know what I mean? What was his name? He was a linebacker, Brian Bosworth. He was a hell of a linebacker. He ended up being such a good linebacker, he started doing movies. And black women liked Brian Bosworth. Like, you would hear black women go, ooh, he fine. Like, shoot, girl, Brian Bosworth was fine as hell. And he was a big old blonde white dude, big white boy. But Bo Jackson, shit. Bo knows Ed. Bo is a champion at everything, nigga. Like, literally, Bo Jackson was a champion at everything. And then he ran up against that one dude that tore his knee up. That dude was a monster. That dude who hit him that day, I'm gonna say this: if you went up against went up against Bo Jackson, you knew it. Bo was good in basketball. He went pro in football. He played baseball and football at the same time. Bo Jackson. And was finna win the championship and then could play basketball. But see, here's the problem with basketball. When you on season and off season, it'll mess up with it's gonna mess up something. So he couldn't play in pro ball, pro baseball and football. That's why he didn't continue with the basketball. But he was good at all of it. He almost played basketball, and that's why I became a Raider fan. Not because of gang shit, not because of the shit NWA. I'm not a CB4 type nigga. You know what a CB4 is? Remember Gusto from CB4? He put a Jerry Curl wig on and threw Raider stuff on and started acting like NWA. That's not what this is. You know, I'm sorry to let you know that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Some people be like, oh, you dressed like you in the 80s. Like, because I was around niggas that was doing it in the 80s, but they was having money and doing it in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between being around niggas who was doing it in the 80s, but they wasn't fresh and so clean. I was around, you know, I know how to do it, how they did it in the 80s because I actually got to see it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, was my mom an influencer? Of course. Like, my mom was one of the best influencers, like a real ass influencer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a real influencer. Like, was my dad an influencer? When it came to cars and hard work and teaching me the value of money, my dad was a pretty powerful influencer. Because how can I say? If you knew the value of money, you would mise it a little bit better. You would mise. You know what a miser is? You real cheap. You'll have a bundle of money and be real cheap. People don't like a cheap nigga. But if you knew the value of money and you knew the power of money, you would mise it. Either you gonna have it or you not gonna have it. So it's like you can work for it, but it ain't enough to cover the rent and the bills. Then people will be amazed sometimes at how I survive on what I make. Like, how do you survive? If I told you that I knew the value of money, then you probably look at me totally different. I'm gonna teach you a lesson that my father taught me. Okay, I'm 7 years old, and my father doesn't play about hard work. So, like, you know, when your father asks you to do something, you do it right then and there. You don't do it like, if he said take the trash out, you don't keep playing the video game. You get your ass off the game and do what he asked you to do first. See, I learned that, like at the age of 4 and 5. I do what my parents asked me to do first, then I come back to what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? Or if they be like, you don't have to do it right now. Okay, then I don't have to do it right now. But it's best that you do what they asked you to do first. And then you develop responsibilities. Like, I had responsibilities at the age of 5, 6, and 7. Like, my responsibility is to take out the trash, clean the bathroom, and keep my room clean. So it's the bathroom, the trash, and my room. Mando, you know what I'm saying? And maintain my grades. Boom. Okay, so basically, that's some influence right there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that about me because they think since I'm such a city kid that I don't know how to edge and cut grass, trim trees, They think I don't know how to do any of that when I had my own lawnmower service at the age of 7, 8, 9. I used to cut, like, once I got in middle school, I used to cut everybody's grass. Like, a lot of the girls that ended up dating me when I got a little older, like, you used to cut our grass. They ran into me like, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, is that the boy that used to cut our grass? Ooh, mama, look at him. Mama, look. Ooh, used to cut my grass and used to tear up my sprinklers. Used to run over my sprinklers. But I never got mad. And then me and her daughter end up, going on a date or something, or we ended up hooking up and being together. That happened a few times. I could say her name, but she's in a biker gang. She's in a biker club. She's in a biker club. She rides Harleys and she used to drive trucks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna teach you some of the things that I learned as a 6, 7, and 8-year-old kid. I'm gonna tell you when I learned it when I was 7, because my dad had got custody of me when I was 7, not 8, not 9, because my mom went to jail when I was 7. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the worst times in my life. You know what I mean? Because that's, but my father taught me, right? My chores is the yard, help with the yard, take the trash out, set it on the curb. It's 4 trash cans, you set them on the curb every Thursday. And then clean the bathroom, and that's my duties. I got $10 first for doing it. I started off with 10. So he gave me my $10. I went straight to the store and spent $10. I got $10 worth of goodies. You know what I mean? I come through the door, I got candy. You know what I mean? I got it all. You know what I mean? And $10 go a long way back when I'm a 7-year-old. So I come through the door, I got Garbage Pail Kids. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know what I mean? I come through the door like, bam. My dad like, you bought all that candy? So I'm sitting there, tell me if y'all remember this. You used to have the Bubblicious with the gel inside of it. The Bubblicious with the gel inside. I had the Dr. Pepper with the Dr. Pepper gel inside. So then I got the Dr. Pepper soda. I got I got Cherry Pepsi because it came out when I was 7. Things started soda started mixing with cherry. Like Cherry Coke came out when I was 7. All of this stuff started coming out, and I sit there and I would drink some of the soda and blow the cherry Coke into the bubble gum like with a bubble. And my dad caught me doing that. And I guess I smelled really sweet from the candy because I always had, a bunch of gum on my. He's like, boy, you smell sweet as shit. You know that? He said, but you sitting there just blowing. What is you doing? Putting that root beer in the gum? Boy, it was probably some suspect shit. And what I mean? Because, I used to be around a lot of girls too when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Girls like, double dutching, girls playing double dutch. They used to have me turn the rope for them. Now, I don't know how to double dutch, but I used to love to watch the girls do it, and I turn the rope for them. You know what I mean? And I played tetherball. You know what I mean? I got hooked up a few times with tetherball. Like a girl like got me together with the tetherball, like ba-bam, 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 like boo, boo. You know what I mean? A little mean little thing, but, girls that be mean to you sometimes like you. But anyway, he gave me $10. I blew it. So he was like, "What?" He said, "You say how much money you got left?" I said, "I don't got none. I spent it." He said, "So you don't got none of the money I gave you left?" And he just gave it to me yesterday. He said, "Hold on, I'm not gonna give you no more money." He said, "Look, next Friday, if you want $10, you want me to give you $10, you gotta at least save $4 out of that 10 that I gave you." I'm like, damn, I just put a dent in a nigga shit. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. Like, what you talking about, Mr. Drummond? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you talking about? You know what I mean? So cool. So he gives me $5 this time. He said, "I gave you $5. You better have at least $2 of that $5 coming this weekend, or you ain't gonna get $10. So I did my best to hold on to that motherfucking $2. I told somebody else to hold that shit for me. Can you hold on to this $2? You know what I'm saying? I asked my stepmom to do it. Can you hold on to my $2? And then I asked my stepmom's daughter, you know what I mean? Like, can you hold on to my $2? She said, why? Dad ain't gonna give you no money. You know what I'm saying? Because she was there before I was. You know what I mean? Like, I'm his kid, but you know what I mean? They were living in, they had a living arrangement prior to my situation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, screw you. I wasn't really like there. You know what I'm saying? But this is where I gotta be. You know what I mean? So I had like $1 something. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, how much money you got? Like, oh, like I got it like $1 something. He was like, I thought I told you had $2. He was like, I'm hungry. He was like, all right, here's $10. Boom. He's like, look, you better have at least $4 this week, or you only gonna get $5 for all the work I'm doing. So he gave me $15 this week. Boom. So now I got $15. So now my allowance, it's an allowance, my allowance is $15. It's gonna go up to 25. Remember, I'm still 7. So he gave me $15, boom. I spend damn near like so much on whatnot. I buy a toy, and then, you know, I bought a model, and then, you know what I mean, some more shit. I got like $4 now. My dad like, how much of your money you got? I'm like, I got $4. He was like, and it's only Saturday. Like, I just gave you your money Friday, and it's Saturday now, and you only got $4. I gave you $15. He's like, you ain't gonna. I'm like, hold on. I'm not gonna spend no more money. He's like, okay. So he give me $20. Boom. I want you to at least have $8 of that 20. Or it's gonna drop back down. So are you getting the message in that? I'm learning the value of $1, and look how fast I'm spending the money up. Be like, you spend all that money up? And I used to be like, huh? Like, I can't get what I want with it. The object was, I keep money. I kept money. You ain't got no money left from what I gave you? Yeah, I got about $6. All right, here's 25. Put that with so $6 plus 25, what's that? 15 plus the 4 that I have, what's that? 10 with the 6, 10 with the 3 that I saved, what's that? So every time he asks me